everybody, welcome back to Forward Observer. I have three things I want to talk to you about today. Number one is training. Number two is officers. And number three is what you should be doing right now. First, training. I'm going to be in Houston, Dallas, and Austin this month and next, and probably into January, teaching some version of one-day tactical intelligence courses. I really have to get on the road. 2021 is going to be, I have to start teaching more stuff. So I'm going to hit the road again, and I'll be all over the U.S. We're going to get through all this lockdown, whatever these people are in these states are doing, and then I'll get back at it. Otherwise, I'll be in the region in Texas most weekends doing some form of training for folks. All right. The second thing is, if you listen to the podcast or join the email list or whatever, I'm going to be publishing my training schedule here shortly once we figure out what's going to happen in the future. All right. The second thing is about officers. Someone commented on my video that the stuff I'm teaching is officer level stuff and my audience is enlisted, whatever that means. Well, I was not an officer. I was an enlisted guy. I was a non-commissioned officer, but still enlisted. And whoever said that is wrong. If you're watching my videos, you're smarter than the average bear because you have a frame of reference. If you've seen more than 2 or 3 of my videos, you now have a frame of reference that most of your peers do not. And you understand concepts, or maybe you have developed skills that 95+% of your peers don't understand, or you've developed skills that they haven't. There's a very good chance that if you're watching my videos on a regular basis, that you are going to be the officer for your community during a disaster. Because if you understand how intelligence works, if you can gather information and analyze it, then planning and decision making will become I'm not going to say extremely easy, but it will become far easier than it would otherwise be. So if you're watching these videos, keep doing what you're doing and keep developing these skills, because you probably will be the officer for your neighborhood or your community. That's the second thing I wanted to say. The third thing, I've been kind of reticent to talk about how I'm doing the things that I'm doing in my own area, but A, they're working, and B, I think it's a pretty darn good system. And so I want to talk about what you should be doing right now, and that's based off what I've been doing for the past 18 months or so. So last summer, I started a group called Brazos Valley Preparedness. It's in Brazos Valley, Texas. So if you're in the area, reach out to me. Let's get you plugged in somehow, or at least meet and talk about this stuff. And we have a really good core group in our town, and we're trying to develop other nodes in the surrounding counties. We have folks from other counties who are involved. And what we really want to do is, we're not a prepper group, we're a preparedness network. So we share information, we share training opportunities. I'll get to some of the other stuff in a bit. But what I've done is I've used the Army staff system to kind of organize leadership positions in Brazos Valley Preparedness Network. And that's, S1, S2, S3, S4, and S6, which I'll go in right now. So we used to meet once a month, and then this COVID thing hit. And, I've talked about the training. We've done Stop the Bleed classes. We've done intelligence classes. We've done kind of like pantry and canning type of classes, practical skills for people. And it's open to anyone who wants to come. We have a meeting in the morning, and then after that meeting is done, then we go on with training, and then it's open. If anyone wants to come and take the canning class, they can. No pun intended. COVID hit, we ended up rescheduling and doing, I don't know, it just kind of really disrupted our plans. But most recently, we've been meeting every week, the core group of guys. And so I said, hey, I need an S1. I need someone to kind of handle the admin in the Army. S1 is like finance or admin. And so I need someone to, keep a contact roster for everybody. And remember, this is not a top secret organization. So, if you give us your email address or you give us your cell phone number and you want a text or you want a signal message or you want a phone call about, inviting you to the next meeting or, whatever, do that. That's kind of the S1's responsibility is to keep kind of our manning roster and, keep track of our schedule of events and all this stuff, these other kinds of admin things. All right, we move on to S2, the Intel guy. Well, if that's you, keep watching my videos. Definitely make it out to classes that I'll be teaching. I'm going to be teaching the 2 and 3 day version of the Tactical Intelligence course again, which really is how to develop a network, how to set up kind of an immediate action plan for intelligence gathering, like stuff that you can leave on Sunday afternoon or Sunday evening whenever the course gets over, and you can actually start gathering you can have a multidiscipline effort or a multidiscipline intelligence gathering effort, and do your area study and all that stuff. Those are your responsibilities. We always start every meeting off with kind of an intel brief, and if people have information they want to share, about whatever it is, then they can. I think that's a really good way to start the meeting and kind of focus on, filling intelligence gaps and, understanding what intelligence gaps and collection requirements are. And again, some people may have more sensitive information, which obviously can be done on offline, not in the presence of everyone at this meeting. But be doing the intel if you're the intel guy, if you're the S2. Next, I need an S3. Okay, great. We got a former infantry guy, S3. I'm talking about, identify, if you're the S3, you should be identifying the range of missions that you may undertake. And my big gripe with a lot of these militias, we're not a militia. I know a lot of militia guys, and they want what's best for the country, and they want to make sure that they can protect their family, and so they go running around in the woods and play Rambo and whatever, scare people because they don't really understand who these people are and what they're doing and what, I don't know, whatever. That's not every militia, but that's some of them. And I look at the range of potential missions, and I'll be honest, direct action is not the top priority. Winter's coming up. If you're the S3, the ops chief or the ops guy or whatever, let's figure out how we can take a 4-wheel drive vehicle and maybe go around parts of the county this winter if there's an ice storm or a blizzard, and help stranded drivers or pull vehicles out of the ditch and say, hey, we're from whatever preparedness network, we're here to serve the community, I don't know, whatever. Talk to your local fire department about ways you can volunteer and help, or whatever. Frankly, your high priority missions right now are building goodwill and doing kind of community organizing, building support for your organization and what you do, growing your preparedness network, getting more involvement, and looking for ways to serve your community. Like we have flash flooding out where we are. So if you're the S3, let's see about, can we get some swiftwater rescue training, or can we at least learn how to how to help, or have boats and go rescue people out of their homes or whatever if there's a large amount of flooding, that kind of stuff. Whatever your community needs, and then if it comes to it, if it gets down to where we have to be more active and more oriented towards a certain type of operation, then so be it. But right now, all this stuff, what it's doing is, if you can get, 2 or 3 guys in a vehicle and, go go help pull vehicles out of ditches this winter when there's ice storm or blizzard, you're going to be bonding with these people. You know, you're going to be doing a good, doing community service, doing a good deed for your fellow citizens, and who knows? You know, you may grow the body of your local support where you live. All right. At any rate, S4 supply. You know, one big thing is we're trying to reach out to local ranchers and farmers right now, and you know, see if we can get kind of a relationship where we can buy direct from these farms, or you know, buy cattle directly from these ranchers. It's a heck of a lot cheaper than buying at the grocery store. And one thing I've advised my S4 to do is to look at the needs, right? If someone says, hey, I need one of those, I forget what you call them, but there's those big water containers. Well, there's places all around this part of Texas that sells those things. So if we have 5 people in the group that says, yeah, I want to buy a 100-gallon or 500-gallon water container or whatever, well, S4, guess what? Start calling those places and see if you can get the best deal on those water containers that you can. Call around, find the cheapest price for the best product, and there you go. Now we have a good opportunity. You know, if places are having sales, if people want to buy, I don't know, prepper gear or whatever, you know, figure out what the needs of the group are, figure out what the needs of the group are going to be in the future, and then let's start figuring out a way to have that supply. Man, this road, I feel like I'm on the Oregon Trail in like the 1840s or somewhere, but actually I'm probably not too far from the Oregon Trail, honestly. So at any rate, S4, you know, let's think about our material needs, and let's figure out a way. Like, he is specifically tasked with supply. How do we get the stuff we're going to need in the future? And then finally, S6. Yeah, we skipped S5 because I mean, you know, there may be a use for an S5, but we just don't have one right now. But S6 is communications. You know, how do we get everyone up on VHF, UHF comms? Talk about like we're putting up our own repeater, in the process of putting up our own repeater, so that we can ensure area communications during a worst case scenario. So what I would advise you to do, if you're starting from scratch, grab a couple friends. There's a number of places that that you can meet like-minded people. I would say, hey, start going to, you know, local, join your local Tea Party or GOP or, you know, whatever groups that may be out there. Go meet people and start networking. Pastor Joe Fox in Viking Preparedness, he has meetups all the time, all across the country. If you just go to Viking Preparedness, I'm sure he's got a video. I think it's through his Patreon. But yeah, you know, if you join the Patreon, then maybe you can find out where these meetups are going to be. Another thing is you can join PrepperNet. Forrest Garvin is a friend of mine, and you can go to preppernet.com and create an account. You don't have to use, you know, your you know, it doesn't ask for your name or phone number or zip code, you know, or it actually does ask for your zip code, but you put your zip code in there, and you're going to be able to see if there are any PrepperNet members in your area. And then if there are, then you can contact those people, and you can share an email address or a phone number, whatever you're comfortable with. You know, you don't have to roll out your social security number and tell them everything about yourself and your address and all that stuff. You can just say, hey, here's my email address. I want to get involved locally or meet up with like-minded people. Email me or call or text or whatever. So those are two ways that you can, I mean, maybe there's not a Viking meetup in your area. Maybe there's no PrepperNet members in your area. But I would definitely check. I mean, if I were starting from scratch, just myself or my family, or, you know, maybe a few close friends, it's exactly what I would be doing. That's actually the first two things I would do, is look for Viking meetups and look for Preppernet members. All right, well, that does it for this video. I'll be back very soon. Until next time, be well and stay out front.